What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. We're also going to look at a few altcoins as well. What I want to do is look at Bitcoin here on the 1 week time frame. Right now we're sitting at 37,821, down about 1.5%. First of all, guys, I want to thank you all for your prayers, all the love, everything that people were sending. My son, he's home safe right now. We just got to monitor his blood work, but for right now we are back home safe, and the prayers have been answered, and I just can't thank you all enough. So that's off my mind now, and it's great to be back here with you, and we're just going to try to do this the best we can. We've had a lot of choppy price action. We got a lot going on with world events, and what we're trying to do here, guys, the number one thing that I want you to pay attention to on the weekly time frame, we need to set a higher low. So if we want to get out of this downtrend that we've been in for roughly about 3 months, we need a trend change, and that's going to be on the weekly time frame here. So what we're going to be looking for, as we had this bottom, went up to our top. We want to set a higher low right down in this area and then try to get back up over top of roughly about 42,000. Then I'd say around that 45,000 so that we can come back up here and challenge around this $52,000 range. That's what's going to be most important for us. We don't want to just roll over. And guys, rolling over, what that would look like is that we don't even set a higher low here for the week and we just push down. Now we may get a double bottom. That's a possibility, or we could just blow right down through it and we could go down to around $30,000. So these are all things that I'm going to be looking at. And right now it's all about the weekly chart. That's what's going to be most important for us when we're looking at Bitcoin, setting this higher low, going up and setting a higher high if we're able to do it. I mean, guys, we've spent, more than 80 days in this downtrend now. So the bears, they may be getting a little exhausted, and I know there's so much going on in the world, but we still have to look at that supply and demand factor. And I think what's going on in the world right now is the perfect opportunity for Bitcoin to step on the scene. It's already been building, we've been getting that adoption, but I really think this is the time for Bitcoin to shine. None of that's financial advice. We may just blow down through this area, but I would be looking to see if we can set this higher low here and potentially push a little bit higher. If we look on the 1 day time frame, and also, guys, if you get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It really helps this channel out. I want to get back to it as much as I can here for you whenever I get a chance. So main thing here, guys, you can see we had our low, we pushed up, we had a high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Then we got all the way up higher high, higher low, lower high, and then we dropped down. And we ended up breaking that. I want to see this hold as our higher low. That would have been important. We started to get that follow through, and then we just dumped right back down. So what I'm looking for now, we're looking at fib regions. So if we just take this move on its own, we want to see us hold this 0.618. That's going to be at $37,903. If we go any lower, it's going to be that 0.786, and that's going to be at $35,737. So that's the area we're going to look at to see if we can hold so that we can start pushing up a little bit higher, maybe set one of those daily lower highs again and get into an equilibrium. That's probably what we're going to be looking at there, but we do need to put in this daily candle for this bottom here. It's going to be important for Bitcoin. So really watch these areas, guys. If we step back, we take a look at the VPVR. We have a decent amount of support here. We'd say at about $37,000. You can see in the white, this is going to be our area. In terms of overhead resistance, the main area is going to be right around that 42,000. You can see we have a lot of selling pressure up here as well. So if we did get one of those lower highs, we'd have to watch how we respond at this area. That's a big deal for us. So I'm definitely watching these areas right now, guys. Still being cautious, looking for that weekly higher low so we can change that weekly trend, get out of that downtrend as soon as possible. That's what we need to do. So that's going to be Bitcoin. If we take a look now, we're going to go on the weekly back again to Ethereum. If you're here for Ethereum, just put ETH down low, smiley face, anything for the algorithm, guys, always helps out. Want to give this information to you as quick as possible without any of the hype, jargon, any of that stuff. So same deal for Ethereum, guys. We're looking at this downtrend here. What we're trying to do, we set our low, high. We want to try to set a higher low down in this area. And I'm sorry, this is Bitcoin. Let me see here. Thought I clicked ETH. So for ETH, similar situation, a little bit ahead here. So we had our low, high. We want to set this. Now we still have another 6 days or whatnot. Want this to be our higher low. So we want to hold the area of roughly about, I'd say $2,600 to $2,400 is going to be a big area for us. And if we're looking at this on the weekly and we step back, same deal, VPVR here, and take a look. So we have decent resistance up here, and that's going to be around 3150, we'll call it. And then if we're looking for our support, see if we zoom in a little bit more here. I would say, guys, maybe 2,400, right in that area where we had this doji candle here. kind of mixed between like a doji and a hammer candle, a little bit too much wick on the top there, but a nice looking bullish candle. Came on heavy volume as well, so we got that push. We just want to set that higher low. But I would say, yeah, around 2,000, 2,400 are the main areas we're looking at to see if we can find any type of support there for Ethereum. So if we bounce out to the 1-day time frame and look at this, you can see, guys, it's all about changing the trend. We had a nice hammer candle come in here on heavy volume, so that could be our bottom there, but we're going to have to set this higher low. If we take out our fib yet again, we pull up, we're sitting right on that 0.618 now, and that's going to be at $2,600. If we drop lower to that 0.786, we're going to be looking at about $2,400. You know, guys, when we're looking at this here, I mean, this downtrend has been just so brutal. One thing I have done, and I like to do, if I can find it here, so we do the bars pattern. I want you to see this. So we're going to go down roughly into this range. You can see this has been as harsh as our one in the spring and summer. So if we move it over here, we're right at that same area. You can see we dropped all the way down right here, and then we've been trying to get this move. We're trying to change that trend, but this has been every bit as harsh as what we've had back here. This just happened quicker. It was a quick waterfall, and then we had a nice bounce. This was just a grind. We never really got a nice bounce or reaction out of it. We've just grinded down, but we are at those lower levels again. So I just want people to be aware of that when we're looking for this trend change here. See if we can get that higher low. It's going to be extremely important for us. And if you take a look at the fib, and we pull down just like that, you can see our reaction or bounce that we've had has been to the 0.382, around $3,200. And what I would anticipate is something a little bit higher with how hard and fast that we've dropped. Even if we do just come up here and then start rolling back over, you would still expect a nice reaction back to that 0.5, maybe 0.618, up between $3,500 and that $3,900 range. But it's just, we have so much going on geopolitically, everything else, guys. We have to be cautious as well. We really have to watch our risk management. You can see back in this range, give you an idea. So guys, when we dropped here, we went down, and you can see the reaction that we're measuring. That time we got all the way up to the 0.786 before we rolled back down. Okay, so if we got back to the 0.786, that would almost put us back around, you know, $4,300. So if we can change this trend, there could be some room here to continue moving, but we have to change this trend overall. On the weekly is how it starts, then daily, and just, you know, continue to, or I'm sorry, it starts on the 1 hour, and then you have to go to the 4 hour and change it, and then you have to go to the 12, and then you have to go to the 1 day, and then the week, and you just work your way back. And if we take a look at ETH here, even taking a look at the 1 hour time frame, you can see we've had some crazy price action down in here. Guys, take a look at this. We had a low, high, slightly higher low, double bottom, lower high, trying to set a higher low, just spikes back and forth, buying, selling. It's getting crazy down here. So, you know, as we step back, we're going to go back. And now we're going to take a look at Litecoin, and then we'll do ADA. So if you're here for Litecoin, let me know. We're sitting at 108 right now. So Litecoin, we did not have as much room, but it's going to be the same concept here, guys. We need to hold $96. We got as high as 144, and now we're trying to set this higher low here. So if we could hold that around 108 is going to be the area that I want to hold. Otherwise, we're going to go down, try to get a double bottom at least, or we're just going to break right down through. So definitely an area that you want to watch for Litecoin here. If we take a look at the relative strength, it's going to be at 40. If we take a look at the 1 day time frame, 1 day time frame, we did have a bit of tweezer bottoms right down here with the hammer candle, came on volume as well, so something we want to keep an eye on. Relative strength is going to be at 37 right now. And if we do get into our VPVR, take a look at this. This is where some support should be coming in right around this 107, 108 right here. You can see we in white had some buying pressure right in that range, as well as some selling pressure, but some buying pressure there, and you can see the red line coming in. And if we can make a move, there's not a ton of selling pressure. We have a big gap until we get up to around 148 would be the area. So it'd be nice to hold this here, see if we can push up to some higher levels. So that's going to be Litecoin, guys. If you're here for Litecoin, let me know. Then we'll get into ADA. Just put LTC down low. Then we'll do ADA. All right, so ADA is sitting at 92 cents right now, getting beat up. But the main thing I want to point out here, guys, when we're looking at ADA on the 1 week time frame. So as we've been in this downtrend here, our sell pressure. So right here, you can see this last leg down that we're looking at. So this big leg that we've had to the downside hasn't come on that much selling pressure. So I'm wondering if the bears are getting exhausted. You know, that's always a possibility that we've pushed down for so long, for 5 months, that we're at least going to get some type of reaction out of here. So if we take a look, and say that was our bottom, even back to the 0.382 could put you around $1.75, up to the 0.5 would put you at 201. Then it'd be at the 0.618 would be at 227 would be the areas. But when we're taking a look here at ADA, you know, the selling pressure just may get exhausted, just like you have with buying pressure to the upside. It's always something that you want to watch and pay attention to, guys. That supply and demand. If we get into the 1 day, okay, so 1 day we did break down through the area we wanted to hold at $1. Now this one here on the 1 day, this shows a little bit more selling pressure as we did cross down through this range. It was on above average volume. See, we had a fight here trying to get back up to $1. So that's the thing, guys. When you break down through support, then you have to try to break back up through it because it becomes resistance. So we have to be careful in this area. But for me, when I'm stepping back on the 1 day time frame for ADA, you can also see a little bit of bullish divergence here, right, with the relative strength. But, you know, this is a must-hold area right here, or we're probably going to, you know, we could drop down to 75 cents, 50 cents, all types of crazy stuff. But I really have seen this selling pressure from back in here just slow down for ADA as we've dropped. So when we do get a break out of here, I think it's going to be significant. And I think ADA is starting to do some really good things. And I think it's one to watch, guys. Just my opinion, you know, it may go lower, but I do think it's a little bit undervalued here. And people are hating on it. Whenever people start doing a bunch of negative comments, many times those coins will pump. And when they pump, you can see how quick they pump. If we take a look at this and measure, guys, if we did something similar to that, this was only about a month and a half in terms of price movement. Take a look. You're all the way back up at $2.84. If we get a trend line break like that, and it could happen in a month or less, that's just the name of the game. So I'm not hating on it. I'm keeping an eye on ADA and the rest of these, but I'm also being patient as well, watching my risk. If you get something from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless you all, and thank you for the prayers, my friends.